one thing I will say, I want to flip something on the bright side. Like, weirdly, a benefit of the pandemic is like these programs wouldn't have had the context to ever arise if it weren't for the pandemic. We're about to talk about worker ownership, and there's a lot of historical instances of contexts where only because things get really bad are the systems built to enable more good.
Well, think about the New Deal. That's the history of the New Deal.
Exactly.
The history of Social Security, the history of all of these programs that we take for granted, the history of the Tennessee Valley Authority, the history of the SEC, the history of all of our security regulations, of Glass-Steagall, of separating commercial from investment banking, which went away in the 90s. But point is, all of these amazing things happened in times of crisis to meet the moment.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it's like, okay, crisis happens and we realize we can't allow people to get this low, and so we institute a bunch of reforms and welfare to help people who have gotten that low in the crisis to get back up, and then at least parts of those reforms stay as part of the system.
And
right?
not all of them do. We have seen an erosion of the social welfare system built up from the COVID era.
Totally.
With the expansion of the child tax credit being gone away. But some are sticking. And this is one example of a thing that we cannot let slip away.
And the problem is that historically these things also deteriorate. Like slowly and slowly. Like over time, there seems to be less, because they are so helpful, there seems to be less need for them. And so then there's less funding to keep them going. And then things deteriorate until you get to another crisis.
Yeah.
But we have to keep these around as long as we can.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude, that was so good.
Thank you.